Good morning and happy Thursday if you guys are staying on pace. If not, that's fine, and it's not Thursday for you while you're watching this. That's all right. Our kiddos are right now in spring break, so that's the date I say is just the day that it posts and the video goes live, so or goes on YouTube. So let's get started with our pledge and our motto, and then we'll get started or continue with James and the Giant Peach and see where they are now that they've disappeared into the clouds. See the flag over there? Pledge and salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you haven't caught some of my mistakes, like I just did there, pledge and then salute. We salute first, then we pledge. But anyway, feel free to look for all my mistakes because I will make them, because that's just what happens when we're all learning new things. All right, let's go on with our motto. Ready, begin. We are students at Peter J. Shields. We believe in kindness. We are responsible. We are persistent. We are respectful. We are bucket fillers. We drop acts of kindness into everything we do. We are Peter J. Shields. Okay, Peter J. Shields. We're still going through here. And any of you kiddos that have joined us that are not Peter J. Shields, thanks for joining. And we are going to get through this together. We're just going to take it one day at a time because that's all we can do. Something this big, out of our control. We're just going to take a deep breath and get through this because we can do it, and we can show that we are persistent by just hanging in there. I'm going to adjust this shot a little bit so that I don't get quite as much glare from the window and see a few more books that I like to see in the background. There we go. Alrighty, look at this. We are over halfway through now, and I think if this keeps going and we keep staying out of school for a while, I'm debating if I'm going to do Matilda next or Charlie and Chocolate Factory, but I think I might go with Charlie and Chocolate Factory since that was his second book and this is his first. But let's continue with James, shall we? Chapter 24. So remember, this is the last couple sentences, or last sentence in chapter 23. A moment later, the great round ball disappeared into a cloud, and the people in the ship never saw it again. So those of you that are artists, if you're getting any pictures in your head while I'm writing, great time to just practice your art skills a little bit and draw what you're hearing. Here we go. But up on the beach itself, everyone was still happy and excited. I wonder where we'll finish up this time, the earthworm said. Who cares, they all answered. Seagulls always go back to land sooner or later. Up and up they went, high above the highest clouds, the peach swaying gently from side to side as it floated along. Just relaxing. I like floating in the water, like the water I've got going on behind me. Wouldn't this be a perfect time for a little music? The ladybug asked. How about it, old green grasshopper? With pleasure, dear lady, the old green grasshopper answered, bowing from the waist. Hooray, hooray! He's gonna play for us, they cried. And immediately the whole company sat themselves down in a circle around the old green musician, and the concert began. From the moment that the first note was struck, the audience became completely spellbound. And as for James, he'd never heard such a beautiful music as this. In the garden at home on the summer evenings, he had listened to many times the sounds of grasshoppers chirping in the grass. He'd always liked the noise that they made, but this was kind of different noise altogether. There was real music, chords, harmonies, tunes, and all the rest of it. Oh, and what a wonderful instrument the old green grasshopper was playing upon. It was like a violin. It was almost exactly as though we were playing on a violin. The bow of the violin, the part that moved, was his back leg. The strings of the violin that made the sound, the edge of its wing. He was usually only on top of his back leg and thigh, and he was only stroking this up and down against the edge of his wing with incredible skill, sometimes slowly, sometimes fast, but always with the same easy-flowing action. It was precisely the way a clever violinist would have used his bow, and the music came pouring out and filled the whole blue sky around them with magical melodies. When the first part was finished, everyone clapped. Miss Spider stood up and shouted, "Bravo! Encore! Give us some more!" Did you like that, James? The old green grasshopper asked, smiling at the small boy. Oh, I loved it, James answered. It was beautiful. It was though you had a real violin in your hands. A real violin, the old green grasshopper cried. Good heavens, I like that, my dear boy. I am a real violin. It's part of my own body. So here they are, they're just chatting afterward. Look at how big grasshopper is in comparison to James. Wouldn't that be wild? I think it would be wild. But do all grasshoppers play their music on violins the same way as you do, James asked. No, he answered, not all. If you want to know, I happen to be a short-horned grasshopper. I have 2 short feelers coming out of my head. Can you see them? There they are. They are quite short, aren't they? That's why they call me a shorthorn. And we shorthorns are the only ones who play our music violin style. Using my bow, my long-horned relatives, the ones who have long curly feelers coming out of their heads, make their music simply by rubbing the edges of their 2 top wings together. They are not violinists. They are wing rubbers. And rather inferior noise those wing rubbers produce too, if I may say so. It sounds more like a banjo than a fiddle. Oh, how fascinating this all is, cried James. And to think up until now, I had never even wondered how a grasshopper made its sounds. So again, there's your science for today, kiddos. Do some research on grasshoppers. My dear young fellow, the old green grasshopper said gently, there are a whole lot of things in this world of ours that you haven't started wondering about yet. For example, where do you think that I keep my ears? Your ears? Why, on your head, of course. Everyone burst out laughing. You mean you don't even know that? Cried the centipede. Try again, the old green grasshopper said, smiling at James. Well, you can't possibly keep them anywhere else. Well, he says, oh, can't I? Well, I give up. Where do you keep them? Right here, the old green grasshopper said, 1 on each side of my tummy. It's not true, said James. Of course it's true. What's so peculiar about that? You ought to see where my cousins, the crickets and the katydids, keep theirs. Well, where do they keep them? In their legs. 1 in each front leg, just below the knee. You mean you didn't know that either? The centipede said scornfully. You're joking, James said. Nobody could possibly have its ears on its legs. Well, why not? Because it's ridiculous, that's why. You know what I think's ridiculous, the centipede said, grinning as usual. I don't mean to be rude, but I think it's ridiculous that you have ears on the sides of one's head. It certainly looks ridiculous. You ought to take a peek in the mirror someday and see for yourself. Pest, cried the earthworm. Why must you always be so rude and rambunctious to everyone? You ought to apologize to James at once. Chapter 25. James didn't want the earthworm and the centipede to get in another argument, so he quickly said to the earthworm, Tell me, do you play any kind of music? No, but I do other things. Such as what? Well, some are quite extraordinary, the earthworm said. The next time you stand in a field or a garden, look around you, and then remember this. Every grain of soil upon the land, every tiny little bit of soil that you can see has actually passed through the body of an earthworm during the last few years. Isn't that wonderful? It's not possible, said James. Oh, my dear boy, it's a fact. You mean you actually swallow the soil? Oh, like mad, the earthworm said proudly. In one end, out the other. But what's the point? What do you mean, what's the point? Well, why do you do it? Well, we do it for the farmers. It makes the soil nice and light and crumbly so that things will grow well in it. If you really want to know, farmers couldn't do without us. We are essential. We are vital. So it's only natural that the farmer should love us. He loves us even more, I believe, than he loves the ladybug. The ladybug, cried James, looking at her. Do they love you too? I am told they do, the ladybug answered modestly, blushing all over. In fact, I understand that in some places, farmers love us so much they go out and buy live ladybugs by the sackful and take them home and set us free to eat in their fields. They are very pleased when they have lots of ladybugs in their fields. But why? Asked James. Well, because we gobble up all the nasty little insects that are gobbling up all the farmers' crops. It helps enormously, and we ourselves don't charge a penny for our services. Oh, I think you're wonderful, James told her. Can I ask you one special question? Well, please do. Well, is it really true that I can tell how old a ladybug is by counting her spots? Oh no, that's just a children's story, the ladybug said. We never change our spots. Some of us, of course, are born with more spots than others, but we never change them. The number of spots in a ladybug is simply a way of showing which branch of the family she belongs to. I, for example, as you can see for yourself, am a 9 spotted ladybugs. I am very lucky. It's a fine thing to be. It is indeed, said James, gazing at the beautiful scarlet shell with 9 black spots on it. On the other hand, the ladybug went on, some of my less fortunate relatives have no more than 2 spots altogether on their shells. Can you imagine that? They're called 2-spotted ladybugs. And very common and ill-mannered they are, I regret to say. And then, of course, you have 5-spotted ladybugs as well. They are much nicer than the 2-spotted ones, although myself, I find them a trifle too saucy for my taste. But they are all of them loved? Asked James. Oh, yes, the ladybug answered quietly. They are all loved. It seems that almost everyone around here is loved. How nice is this? Not me, said the centipede proudly. I am a pest and I'm proud of it. Oh, I'm a shockingly dreadful pest. Hear, hear, said the earthworm. What about you, Miss Spider? Asked James. Are you so much loved in the world? Alas, no, the spider answered, sighing long and loud. I'm not loved at all, and yet I do nothing but good. All day long I catch flies and mosquitoes in my webs. I'm a decent person. I know you are, said James. It is unfair the way we spiders are treated, Miss Spider went on. Why, only last week your own horrible Aunt Sponge flushed my poor dear father down the plunge hole in the bathtub. How awful, cried James. I watched the whole thing from the corner of the ceiling, Miss Spider murmured. It was ghastly. We never saw him again. A large tear rolled down her cheek and fell with a splash on the floor. But is it not very unlucky to kill a spider? James inquired, looking around at the others. Of course it's unlucky to kill a spider, shouted the centipede. It's about the unluckiest of things anyone can do. Look what happened to Aunt Sponge after she done that. Bump. We all felt it, didn't we, as the peach went over her? Oh, that was a lovely bump, and it must have been a lovely bump for you, Miss Spider. It was very satisfactory, Miss Spider answered. Will you sing us a song about it, please? She said to the centipede. So the centipede did. Aunt Sponge was terrifically fat and tremendously flabby at that. Her tummy and waist were soggy as paste. It was worse than the place where she sat. So she said, I must make myself flat. I must make myself sleek as a cat. I shall do without dinner to make myself thinner, but along came the peach, oh, that beautiful peach, and made her far thinner than that. That was very nice, Miss Spider said. Now sing one about Miss Spiker. Aunt Spiker, with pleasure, the centipede answered, grinning. Aunt Spiker was thin as a wire, and as dry as a bone, only drier. She was long and thin. If you carried her in, you could use her for poking the fire. I must do something quickly, she frowned. I want fat, I want pound upon pound. I may eat lots and lots of marshmallows and chalks till I start bulging all around. Ah, yes, she announced. I have sworn that I'll alter my figure by dawn, cried the peach with a snigger. I'll alter your figure. And ironed her out on the lawn. Everybody clapped and called out for more songs from the centipede, who at once launched into his favorite song of all. Once upon a time, when pigs were swine, and monkeys chewed tobacco, and hens took a snuff to make themselves tough, and the ducks said quack, quack, quacko, and the porcupines drank fiery wines, and goats ate tapioca, and old Mother Hubbard got stuck in the Look out, centipede, cried James. Look out! Yep, cliffhanger. I know it's not Friday, but that's the end of chapter 25. Tomorrow we will start chapter 26. I hope you guys have a great day. I can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Take care, be safe, and remember, we love you and we miss you and we care about you tremendously. Take care. Bye.